Hey everybody, welcome to Neil Talks. My name's Neil, and it's time to talk the two-part season finale of Avatar: The Last Airbender. That's right, guys, we're finishing up season 1. It's been a super cool ride so far. Things have really gotten rolling, especially in the latter half of the season. We reached the North Pole last episode, finally, after setting up that storyline in the pilot, and finally we're here, and we've discovered that the Northern Water Tribe is maybe not more advanced than the Southern Water Tribe, but certainly more developed. It's much bigger, there's way more waterbenders, there's an entire city of ice. Finally, Aang and also Katara are getting proper training in waterbending. The challenge, of course, is that the Fire Nation is full steam ahead to attack this city of the Northern Water Tribe. And that seems like that's fast approaching. That's where this two-part finale will reside, in the battle at this Northern Water City. I wish I knew its name, and we might have been told it last episode, but if we did, it escaped me because there was so much else going on. But yeah, Admiral Zhao has led, it might be the entire Fire Nation Navy to this this place, and looks like we've got a proper war about to begin. We also introduced a bunch of new characters. The woman-hating waterbending master who didn't want to teach Katara, but eventually came around because he was promised to Katara's grandmother and she fled. Maybe that was the reason he hates women so much, but he came around in the end. Like I said, the daughter of the is he the king? Anyway, the leader of the city, she's pledged to be married to somebody else, but she's got a blossoming relationship with Sokka. I'm curious whether she might join our troop next season. Who knows? Next season, presumably the goal is to get to Ba Sing Se and learn earthbending. My guess would be that would be from Aang's old childhood friend from 100 years ago. What was his name? Boomy? Is that right? He seems like he would be the best person to instruct them, but perhaps there's somebody else that we're going to be a long way. But I'm looking too far ahead. We've got a massive confrontation right on the horizon now that we're going to jump into, and how are Zuko and Iroh going to insert themselves into the plot for this finale? Because I can't imagine this is strictly going to be Aang and the Waterbenders versus Zhao and the Firebenders. I feel like we need to throw the wild card of Zuko and Iroh in there as well, just to make things especially interesting. But because this is the season finale, and enough of you have asked, you will be getting both episodes of it today. Don't worry, you're not going to have to wait a week for part 2. But yeah, let's jump into it. I think this is going to be a doozy. So, episode 19 of season 1. This is The Siege of the North. Part 1. This is like Ice Venice, or rather Ven Ice. Alright, we're training. I love that waterbending means you can also bend snow and ice.
Anyone care for a rematch with Katara?
She's taking them all down.
You've advanced more quickly than any student I've ever trained.
Except for Aang.
You can accomplish anything. Raw talent alone is not enough.
Oh.
Pupil Aang, you must have already mastered waterbending.
I wouldn't say mastered, but check this out.
He's a kid. He's just goofing off. They've got no idea the Fire Nation's coming.
Sokka, this is wrong.
What's wrong? I know what you need. You need to meet my good friend Appa.
Mm-hmm.
Appa and I go way back, don't we, boy?
Easy!
Oh, full body
I
lick.
haven't been giving Appa enough attention.
You hanging on tight?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh my.
All right.
Is it always this cold in the sky?
No. No.
It's beautiful up here.
Yeah. Ah, good times, good
What?
times.
Come on, Sokka, you totally could have
What's
kissed her.
happening?
What is... Oh,
Oh no.
Fire Nation Ash. And just like that, the water runs black.
Soot, it's the Fire Nation. They've closed in on the North Pole. And from the looks of this stuff, I'd say there's a lot of them.
Yeah. They're bringing the smog.
This will truly be one for the history books, General.
Well, that's right. They're both undercover. I forgot about Iroh and Zuko being
Centuries from
undercover.
now, people will study
Jeez,
the great
it's been a couple of
Admiral
weeks since
Zhao,
I've
who
reacted.
destroyed the last of the Water Tribe civilization.
History is not always kind to its subjects.
This will be nothing like your legendary failure at Ba Sing Se.
I hope not, for your sake. Do you have a plan?
I'm working on it, Uncle.
That's right. I totally forgot that Zuko was undercover and presumed dead.
I wish we could just be friends, but I like you too much, and it's too confusing to be around you. I'm marrying someone else.
You don't
Maybe.
love him, do you?
Maybe he'll die in the battle and it'll be easier.
I have duties to my father, to my tribe. I have to do this. Goodbye.
Hmm.
It is with great sadness I call my family here before me, knowing well that some of these faces are about to vanish from our tribe.
Wow.
But they will never vanish from our hearts.
We're talking about them dying even before the battle starts.
I'm going to need volunteers for a dangerous mission.
Count me in.
What's this mission gonna be? It's the three squiggly lines is the water mark that we see at the start of every episode. Except one of them's broken, isn't it? In that version.
I'm gonna make a difference this time.
Just like the intro, pan up to the sun. Sorry, tilt up to the sun. Panning is sideways. Tilt is up and down. Okay. Wow. First strike. Just like that. Jeez. Man, if they can shoot that powerfully from that far out, how do you defend? I feel like Aang is getting too isolated. He's separated from everybody else. Wow!
I'll take it from here, boy.
Did Appa do that? Just deflect the fireball just like that? Alright. Let's dismantle the catapults, right? Nice. But how many ships are there? It's more than just one. Nice, nice. Oh, fun weapons.
Appa!
Nice.
Thanks for the rescue, buddy.
Big hug. Oh. Oh. This is how water tribes fight back. Okay. Look at them all, though. That's one. Now there's hundreds.
You'll be infiltrating the Fire Nation Navy. That
Oh.
means you'll all need one of these uniforms.
Oh, interesting.
Fire Navy uniforms don't look like that.
These are real uniforms captured from actual Fire
Maybe
Navy
they're 50
soldiers.
years old.
When, like 100 years
Yeah.
ago? The newer uniforms are more streamlined.
How do we know we can trust this guy?
He is a capable warrior, and I value his input.
Is this going to be the guy she's engaged to?
Sokka, I want you to tell everything you know to Han. He's leading this mission.
All right.
Han, show Sokka your respect. I expect nothing less from my future
Of
son-in-law.
course. Of course we're going to get this conflict. Yue. I'm going to have to remember her name.
Stop those fireballs!
It's almost twilight, Admiral. The waterbenders draw their power from the moon, and it is nearly full tonight.
I guess the moon affects the
Resume
tides.
the attack at daybreak.
That makes sense.
Oh, I'm well aware of the moon problem, and I am working on a solution.
Okay. So we're buying some time. But they can continue launching their
They've stopped firing.
fireballs. Okay, they have stopped firing. What do I know?
I must have taken out a dozen Fire Navy ships, but there's just too many of them. I can't fight them all.
But you have to. You're the Avatar.
I'm just one kid.
Yeah. I think they drew him especially small in that last frame when Katara comforted him.
Ever since I lost my son,
Uncle, you don't have to say it.
I think of you as my own.
Did he lose his son at Ba Sing Se?
I know, Uncle. We'll meet again. After I have the Avatar.
So he's got his little metal kayak.
Keep your ears warm.
Thanks, Dad.
I'll be fine.
Oh.
Yue's nice and everything, but the points I'll gain with the chief aren't bad either.
Princess Yue is wasted on a self-absorbed weasel like you.
Whoa, you're just a simple rude from the southern tribe. What would you know of the political complexities of our life? No offense.
Okay.
You're just a jerk without a soul. No offense.
Everyone's just letting them fight it out.
Sokka, you're off the mission.
Everybody listen to what I say, and we'll take out this Admiral Cho in no time.
It's Admiral Zhao.
Yeah. Sokka's gonna have to rescue them or something. Because they're not gonna succeed. Turtle seals!
Our strength comes from the spirit of the moon. Our life comes from the spirit of the ocean. They work together to keep balance.
The spirits. Maybe I can find them and get their help.
Maybe they'll give you the wisdom to win this battle.
Or maybe they'll unleash a crazy amazing spirit attack on the Fire Nation. Or wisdom. That's good too.
Wisdom works.
I can take you to the most spiritual place in the entire North Pole.
Oh, wow. What is it?
It's the center of all spiritual energy in our land.
Balance. Yin and yang. Fire breath.
Be quiet.
Be nice to the turtle seals.
I took you off the mission for selfish reasons. I want you to guard my daughter, Princess Yue.
Sure. That shouldn't be too hard.
Uh-oh. Han's either going to get captured or die. Like, normally we don't have characters like die on screen on this show, but we talked about losing people right at the start of the episode here. So I think we might actually lose a character or two in this finale. Alright. He's infiltrated.
Why
This
is he
isn't good.
He's meditating.
He doesn't know what he's doing. Oh,
Come on, guys. I can hear every word you're saying.
chill, Aang. Chill. Balance. Aang and Zuko circling one another.
Is he okay?
He'll be fine as long as we don't move his body. That's his way back to the physical world. I'm perfectly capable of protecting him.
Well, aren't you a big girl now?
No.
Yes.
Awesome. Zuko versus Katara. At least we know she's like kick-ass with the water bending. Oh, look at this! But he's got fire. He can get out of that. This is like a fair fight. I like it. No. Bang. That's a good attack.
It's daybreak at last. Let's write history.
No. Now fire gets stronger and water gets weaker. Breath of fire.
I rise with the sun.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Where's Zuko?
He took Aang. He took him right out from under me.
Where did they go?
Come on, Momo, you can tell us somehow. Zuko finally has his prize. Where's he going? I love it. I mean, some of it's certainly predictable and formulaic in the structure, which isn't necessarily a bad thing because we recognize the structure and we anticipate, and that helps tell the story simply and efficiently. Like, for instance, as soon as we meet Han, we're like, oh, that's probably the guy that Yue is engaged to. And then we see that he and Sokka are immediately placed in conflict. And it tells that story simply, but they do it really efficiently, and they're going to do something interesting with it. I can feel. I'm not sure what's going to happen to Han, and I don't know whether Sokka will have this moment where he can either let Han die or remain captured, or do the right thing and save him to return Han to Yue. But I also have a funny feeling that Yue's father may change his plans for her. Or, who knows, maybe she'll just run away and join our little gang. The show surprises me enough that I don't know what's going to happen next, even though the setup is predictable. And that's the difference between being completely formulaic and just using an archetypal story that everybody's familiar with. But nevertheless, I love the additional lore that water bending is stronger during the night, fire bending is stronger during the day. Both of those things make total sense, but it makes you wonder, when is air bending strongest? When is earth bending strongest? How do those work? At different times of the year, or what? Maybe we'll find that out in future seasons. This is... I don't see how the North Pole survives at this point. The Fire Nation survived the night. They have an overwhelming force. Aang managed to take out 12 ships, but it's still just a dent in the size of the force that they have to contend with. And now Fire Nation soldiers are within the city. Zuko himself infiltrated first, fought Katara. That was really cool because they feel like they should be on par. Aang, in a sense, will always have the advantage because he's the Avatar, because he has access to multiple bending skills. But Katara and Zuko, one fire, one water, that feels like a good battle. And Katara did manage to prevail during the night, but when dawn broke and the sun came up and the moon went away, the tides shifted. And Zuko became more powerful and managed to take Aang away. Now, Aang's in the spirit world. We don't know what's going on there, but he's sort of in this trance-like state. But his body's been moved, so how does Aang in the spirit world return to our world if his body's been moved? I don't know. I don't know enough about the mythology of how all of that works to have an explanation, but I'm looking forward to seeing how that problem gets solved. And beyond that, we just have to defend the North Pole. And I don't know if Iroh's going to be involved in some way. I feel like... I wonder how long he will maintain his facade of being a loyal subject to Admiral Zhao. Is it just for the remainder of this season, or will that continue into the future? But I like it. I think we learned a little bit more. I'm not sure if we knew... I think we already knew that Iroh basically retired after failing to capture Ba Sing Se. He laid Ba Sing Se to siege for something like a year, and it failed. And I think that's what drove him into retirement. But now we hear he lost his son, which is why he's so attached to Zuko, his nephew. And I wonder if he lost his son during that siege, perhaps. So it's a double failure in his mind. But it also Like, I'm already thinking to next season because this is the way my mind works sometimes. I feel like Ba Sing Se is going to be really important next year because next year is the Book of the Earth. And it's presumably when we journey to somewhere for Aang to learn earthbending. So it feels like the climax of next season may be at Ba Sing Se if the climax of this season is at the North Pole. Maybe. Who knows? Once again, Aang as a character frustrates me. And I know it's intentional. I know that they've written him this way. He's a 12-year-old kid. He's not always focused on the task at hand. So often he's more interested just in having fun. But I feel like after we spent all of this season getting to the North Pole so that Aang can train in waterbending, watching him do nothing but goof off at the beginning of this episode is really frustrating. Especially since Katara's taking it so seriously, and you would think Aang would want to impress Katara because of his crush on her. Nevertheless, he hasn't learned enough waterbending skills yet, even though he picked them up so dang quickly earlier in the season when Katara taught him the few that she knew. He picked them up so quickly and he exceeded her. And now that it matters most, he's not trying. Frustrating. Damn little kids. Not always thinking about the big picture. Grr. And as much as I like that the Avatar is the connection to the spirit world and that he has all these previous avatars to call on, I feel like it's a bit of a Deus Ex Machina if they just give him the skills required now that he's at the North Pole. If they just give him waterbending mastery without him having to work at it, I feel like that diminishes it, so I hope that's not the route we go. Nevertheless, he's in the spirit world right now. He has a gap in knowledge. He went for wisdom. I feel like that might be what we're leading to here. So I'm nervous that that's the route they go, but maybe they do it in a way that justifies it for me, and I'm nervous about nothing. But I'm not going to talk any longer because we've got part 2. Let's jump into that. I'll see you on the other side. Then we can talk in greater depth at the end of the season. So until next episode, until you click the next button, take care, stay healthy. We'll see you soon. Cheers.